What's up, everybody? It's Brig MMA back, finally back. I know I missed the last card. Um, in terms of my giving my predictions for it, I didn't have a lot of time. I know I say this every video, but I am a student. I do this on the side just for fun. Um, in terms of just my reaction to what happened, honestly, it was pretty uneventful. And like after watching the card, um it just seemed it really just seemed not worth talking about because the most eventful thing that happened was a thing with Bo Nickel, right? And I'm not even a fan of Bo Nickel. I don't really care. So even then, like, like, shout out Rainer the Ritter, shout out Corey, R.I.P. Figgy, and that's really about it. You know what I'm saying? But now I am back for UFC 315 Montreal, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. This backdrop, that shit kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie, that shit's kind of hard. Hold on, give me 1 second. Close my window. It's cold, and I get better acoustics this way. But yeah, and I know I'm dropping this video late. Probably nobody's gonna watch anyway. But I'm pretty sure last time we checked, we're now at 25 subscribers. We're halfway to 50. And just to remind everybody, at 50 subscribers, I will start live streaming. I want to engage with you guys, community, anybody that's willing to stop by and talk about UFC or whatever they like. I'm not sure about how I'd go about it though. I don't know if I'd have gameplay or if I'm just gonna have my face and just talk about stuff. But yeah, anyway, I'm kind of excited for this card. Like, it's all right. It's not a bad card on paper, but it can obviously end up going pretty bad. So we're gonna start with the first fight of the card. Brad Katona versus Beksa Almakan. I need to double check. I'm pretty sure he fought Umar. Yes, he fought Umar. Um, that was his only fight in the UFC was against Umar. Um, Brad Katana is the UFC vet in this scenario. I am not too sure of having Almakan as the favorite. Um, yeah, like, but Katona is kind of inconsistent. He's won the Ultimate Fighter twice, but he's never been able to get to that next level. It seems like he always loses before he can get to the next step, and even getting to like top 20. But um and it's weird because the only moment Alma Khan had in the Umar fight was when he dropped Umar in the first round and then got grapple fucked the entire rest of the fight. So I'm not too sure that you can bet on Alma Khan just purely off that scenario, because even though he looked okay in that first, like, he looked solid in that first round, it could have easily been like just a fluke, like a fluke knockdown, you know. Um, I don't watch regional fights. I only really watch UFC. Um, only rarely have I ever watched a regional fight or a non professional bout. But I've heard that on the regional scene he was pretty good. Um, and I gotta point out the obvious for these type of cards. It's Canada. Obviously, they want to have Canadians win, right? But some of the Canadians of the card are kind of trash, right? And this includes Brad Katana. So, um, it's weird. It's very weird. Man, I'm not even sure. It's like I want to, even though I was just speaking against Almacan, I don't know. I still don't even know if I can go for Katana or Katona. Damn. You know what? I think I'm just gonna go with Almacan. Hopefully he can show us something. That it wasn't just a fluke KO against Umar. So I'm gonna go with Almacan, maybe by decision. To be honest, that just seems to be the way a lot of Katona's fights go. So probably by decision. Next up, we have Daniel Santos versus Jiang Yong Lee. If I remember correctly, Lee's only had one other fight in the UFC, or two other fights, and he's like 1-1. And Daniel Santos has only had like maybe like 3-4 fights, and he's had, bro. I was looking at his thing earlier, before I decided hop on and make the video. He has so many canceled fights. And I think the last time he had like an actual bout, 2023. He's been gone for 2 years now, or like a full year. I genuinely can't remember. I don't watch the tapes of their last fights. I just try to go based off memory and stuff. Did he get knocked this fight? He got knocked out in this fight, yeah. But I'm pretty sure Daniel Santos has faced better competition. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Few fight history. He's beat Castaneda. That's a good win. He lost to Ars. Julio Ars. Forgot his first name. And beat Munoz. I think the only good win is Castaneda. What's the high and reach? Oh wait, is this? No, it's not his debut. Please. No, it's not. I don't know. I just checked this thing. I don't know why the fuck I thought it was his debut. It's because it was blank here. He does have more reach. Let's see. I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm just gonna go with Daniel Santos. No real reason, but we'll find out on Saturday. Next up we have Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva at middleweight. Wasn't Bruno suspended for taking steroids? I thought he was. Damn, is his suspension over already? How long did they give him? Like 4 months, 3 months, couple months. And Barriault, I'm pretty sure is coming off of a loss. Yeah, they're both on losing streaks. Bruno Silva, I believe. Let me see. Lost to Weidman. That was kind of embarrassing. Lost to Shower Bullet, also pretty embarrassing. Not saying like Magomedov or Weidman are bad, but he performed very, very ill in these fights. His last win is fucking Tavares, Brad Tavares. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to. No, wait. 20 wins by knockout is kind of crazy though. And Barriault, I'm pretty sure, is coming off of a knockout loss. 2 knockout losses in a row. What are the odds saying? No odds. No odds in this fight. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with Bruno Silva. And Barriault's last 2 fights, I think the only one, not counting Chris Curtis, I'm talking about the KO fights, but I think the only one that he performed pretty decently in, was versus Pfeiffer before he got caught. And even then, like, the strike that knocked him out didn't. I'm going off memory, by the way. Didn't necessarily seem too powerful. Like it didn't seem like he put so much in it. And Bruno Silva is actually. Wait, remembering. Yeah, he's pretty durable. You know, the fights with Alex Pereira that we all know of. Going 3 rounds, getting abused by Magomedov. 3 rounds, decision, got submitted, knocked out, got submitted. Like it doesn't seem like he's gonna lose by knockout. You know what I mean? And I think in terms of this going 3 rounds, Bruno Silva can absolutely land that hit that can put Barrial out. Because I think his chin is pretty weak. So I'm gonna go with Bruno Silva probably by round 2 KO, TKO. Moving on to the prelims, Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Ersland. I'm not too sure about this. I'm pretty sure he beat Tuco Tacos. In his UFC debut. It was pretty uneventful. Ersland, his only fight versus Ian Cutelaba, who's also fighting on this card. Man, I don't even remember that fight. So I couldn't even tell you, like, who I think could win. But Navajo Sterling is still pretty green in the UFC. And I know he trains out of City Kickboxing. Ersland seemed to be more experienced. I'm pretty sure he's the older one as well. He's 33. Damn, yeah. I really don't know who would win this, to be honest. Sterling didn't look too good against Tuco Tugos. Again, considering the fact that he's also pretty new into professional MMA and already being in the UFC, I think. Oh, hit my mic. I think I'm gonna go with Ivan Ersland, probably by decision. Next up, though, we have Modestas Bukauskas versus Ian Cutelaba. Now, these odds are kind of interesting to me because I was thinking Bukauskas would have been the favorite. Considering he has, I feel like he has had better performances than Cutelaba. I know Cutelaba is kind of on a win streak right now. What is it, like 4-1 in his last 5? Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3. No, what the fuck? 1, 2, 3. Oh no, 3-2 in his last 5. Okay. And then he lost to Johnny Walker. Right. Got knocked out by Kennedy. Knocked out Bozer. Decision. Submission. I don't know if I agree with this, man. I'm gonna go with Modestas Bukauskas, to be honest. I feel like he's more of a dynamic striker. He's very composed as well. He's pretty tough too. What fight was it? He fought some weird guy. Was it Purkino? Was it this guy? I don't want to click on that because I don't know if I'm gonna get copyrighted. I think it was this guy. Yeah, that he kind of like just toughed it out against, pulling off a submission win. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Modestas Bukauskas. But we'll see. We'll find that out. This is kind of one of like this. This is one of the 50-50 fights. On the card, but yeah, I'm just gonna go with my gut and go with Bukauskas. Next, we have Jessica Andrade versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. Her name is so weird to say. Jasmine, I'm just gonna call her Jasmine. Jasmine's last fight was versus Mayra Bueno Silva. I actually picked Bueno Silva to win that fight, but she did very poorly. She got out grappled, which I thought would have been what was gonna happen to Jasmine. The strength factor didn't matter too much, even though I will say the power shots were kind of scary to watch her take. And we all know Jessica Andrade has probably the best power in women's flyweight history. Jasmine also has pretty good cardio. She was managing to out grapple Bueno Silva for all 3 rounds. She has great offensive grappling, great defensive grappling. She was able to scramble in and out of positions and maintain and holding down Bueno Silva for all 3 rounds. It was a pretty impressive win. I was pretty impressed. But this is more of a striking. It's like, well, it's gonna start off as a striking bout as always, but I don't know how safe it is for Jasmine Jasudavicius to kind of shoot for takedowns versus Jessica Andrade. I do think skillfully in this moment, and like just matchup wise, I think Jasudavicius, I am picking Jasmine Jasudavicius, but you know there is that 30% chance that Jessica Andrade will chin her. You know what I'm saying? That's just something she does. Like, you know what I mean? Does Jasmine have any KO wins? So damn, she fine shit. She's so fine shit. Hold on. Damn, she's so bad. All right. Back on topic. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Jasmine Jasudavicius. Wait, I want to check this one more time. Has she been submitted before? Or recently? Suarez, Blanchfield. Oh. Okay. You know what? There is that still slight chance that she can get chinned. But I think I'm gonna go with Jasmine by round 2 submission. Round 2. Or even like late round 1. Late round 1, mid round 2. Submission for Jasmine. Next up, we got Mike Malott versus Charles Radke. Charles Radke has a certain fan base for a certain moment that we're all pretty aware of. You know what I mean? But he's pretty active. He's only had 4 fights in the UFC, I believe. Yes. Going 3-1, losing to Carlos Prates. No shame in that. Oh, I had looked at this earlier. I didn't know these were KO wins. I wish I could watch the replays, to be honest. But I'm 100% sure I'm gonna get what's the word? Copyrighted, right? Mike Malott has had a good run in the UFC. I think he got a lot of unnecessary hate going against when he lost to Neil Magny, because you know he was winning the fight, but he did get gassed. And he did sell himself in that fight, but he's a pretty chill guy, you know. I don't think he necessarily deserved to be hated on. Yeah, actually, a lot of people still hate him for some reason, but I think I'm gonna go with Mike Malott. I'm not really too sure how you say his fucking name, but I'm gonna go with Mike Malott. Just because I think, I just think we've seen more all around. I like with Radke, obviously you can see that with the 2 knockout wins, that he has good power in his hands. And I don't think Mallett's ever been knocked. He's been, obviously he got TKO'd by what you call it? What's his name? What's his fucking name? Magny. Like, I'm reading it right now, and I don't know why I was restricting my brain. But I think he's a better all around fighter than Charles. I hate when that shit comes up, bro. That shit pisses me off. But yeah, like I'm saying, he's a better all around fighter than Charles Radke. And I think he has more ways to win. And even though I don't necessarily expect him to probably get a KO in this fight, if I had to bet on it, it'd probably be submission or a decision. I'm leaning more towards decision though. Probably by grappling prowess. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go with Mike Mallet by boring 3-round decision. Next up, Benoit Saint Denis versus random Kyle Propolic. I'm not gonna spend too much time. I'm gonna go with Benoit Saint Denis. It is very unfortunate though. Him versus Joe Alvarez would have been so fun to watch. That was gonna be a super fun fight, man. It really sucks to see. And Joe Alvarez is no longer fighting at lightweight anymore. He's gonna move up to welterweight, which I think a lot of people were saying that they didn't think it was the right decision for him, but I think he's gonna do all right. He has a lot of finishing potential. He's very strong everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I think he will initially struggle with maybe the size difference and just in terms of muscle mass and weight and strength, but I think a couple fights in welterweight he'll adjust well and he can be a problem. But Benoit Saint Denis, I'm gonna go with a finish. I don't know specifically what. Maybe a KO. Oh, excuse me. Maybe like round 1 KO, round 2 KO. Yeah. Next up, though, very interesting fight actually. Excuse me. Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. Now, Natalia Silva, her last fight beat Jessica Andrade, and then Rajo before that, and then Andrea Lee, who's trash. But she did show her actual skill level beating Jessica Andrade. I think in terms of the striking, Natalia Silva will have the advantage because I'm pretty sure she's also the much bigger fighter. Oh, what? 5'4"? Damn, I did not know that. That makes this kind of... Damn. I'm actually kind of leaning towards Alexa Grasso now. Because I was thinking... Well, honestly, yeah, I think Alexa Grasso got this. She has more reach. Natalia Silva is more of a kickboxer, Muay Thai style. She uses her kicks very well. So that's what she used versus Jessica Andrade to keep her distance from not being chinned and stuff. But Alexa Grasso has really clean boxing. Not so much a solid kick style or like kicking defense. But she has very good boxing. And she's very slippery. So that any chance she sees for a submission, she's gonna chase it. She's gonna go for it. Actually, yeah, I think I'm gonna go Alexa Grasso. Maybe by... I think it's gonna be a competitive fight. I think we'll see Natalia Silva is good enough, but is good enough to hang, but not currently good enough to win, to be either Alexa Grasso or Furiat or Shevchenko. So I'm going to go Alexa Grasso maybe by round 3 submission. Maybe. Or decision. You know, that's always on the table with these WMA fights. Next up, the King of Rio, Jose Aldo versus Ayman Zahabi. Now, one thing that surprised me that I found out a couple of days ago was that Zahabi's actually like 37, right? And I don't know, maybe I got sent out, but I want to double check this too. 37. Okay, yes, he's actually 37. All right. Now, I think I'm gonna give it to Jose Aldo. All right. Had Zahabi been maybe like 32 or 30, I would have probably been considering Zahabi. But I think Aldo may still struggle in this fight, similar to his fight with Mario Batista, but for a different reason. I think Zahabi's gonna have a similar game plan for Jose Aldo with fighting in the clinch, because obviously that's been the way to beat Jose Aldo, shown in recent years. But Jose Aldo is absolutely 100 times still more skilled and talented than Zahabi. I think Zahabi is good. Like, that's not even disrespect to Zahabi, but where he's at in his current state and his age in the UFC, it's impressive that he's gotten this far, but I don't see him going much farther. I don't see him going past top 10 realistically. But Jose Aldo, he's very hard to take down. Very great striker. I think I'm gonna go with Jose Aldo by hopefully if he does everything well, hopefully round 2 KO. But this can not easily. This could end up being another Mario Batista fight. You know what I'm saying? Zahabi can just hold him up against the wall. Fuck, man. If that happens, bro. If that happens, that's going to ruin the whole card for me. Genuinely. But yeah, if Zahabi chooses to hold him up against the cage and shit, and just pitter-patter shots for 3 rounds, man, that's going to piss me off so much. You don't even understand. I hate that shit. I hate the fact that there's no points in defense. Like defensive grappling, you get no points for takedown, for defending takedowns necessarily. Like, people, like, the fans appreciate it more, the commentators appreciate it more, but in terms of like the actual scoring criteria, I'm pretty sure it holds like 0 weight. So that's why, and like, no disrespect to Merab, because I fuck with Merab, but that's why a lot of fighters like Merab, in the Mario Batista fight, just to bring that up again, and so many other like prelim fights that are like, in my opinion, wrongfully scored, just because takedown defense isn't rewarded. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if a grappler tries to shoot a takedown on you, you might as well just let him, because it doesn't matter if you defend. If he goes 1 for 30, his 1 is still gonna be scored higher than you defending 29 takedowns. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it's so aggravating that Jose Aldo got fucking robbed versus Batista, man. Whatever, man. Jose Aldo. I'm going Jose Aldo, man. Going my king. But for the co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot, I'm gonna go with Shevchenko. She still showed that she's at the height of WMMA. Like, ever, all time, right? Fiorot is very man-like. No disrespect, and it's even in the name. But I'm pretty sure it was her last fight versus Blanchfield. She came in and she looked very drained at weigh-ins. And I know, like, that's not really like the best way to go about my prediction for this, but I'm pretty sure she's the grappler as well, right? I'm pretty sure her main style is grappling. But I think in terms of just well-roundedness, Shevchenko can compete on the ground and can absolutely get the best of Fiorot on the feet. So Like, there isn't really much to say. I think I'm gonna go with Shevchenko. I think she wins this fight, and hopefully she retires. It's good for her to go out and a win. She's been doing this long enough. I don't want her to end up in a John Jones, Tom Aspinall situation, but fuck John Jones though. Fuck John Jones. But I don't want her to end up in a situation where, like let's say like Natalia Silva wins, right, and then she beats Furiat. I don't want a situation where people want to force her to beat or force her to face Natalia Silva. I think Shevchenko has earned enough respect from the MMA fans that she's allowed to go out on a win without having to face anybody else, any other young prospect. John Jones does not deserve that respect though. Now, for the main event, Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. I am pretty in between. So, whoever I choose is going to be just off the top of my head, off the dome right now. Belal, his last fight versus Leon was impressive, right? However, it was not necessarily dominant, right? It was a clear 48-47 win for Belal. But there were rounds where he was controlled for the majority of that fight. Like, he lost the 5th round on damage, and he lost, I believe, the 3rd round or the 2nd round being completely shut down and controlled by Leon on the ground. And for JDM in his last fight versus was that his last fight, Gilbert Burns? It was. It wasn't really that impressive to me. I know he had like a broken arm and stuff, and like he overcame, and like that's very good, right? But I thought he was losing. I feel like, my personal opinion, and a lot of other people believed he was losing up until the knockout. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think JDM's strongest weapon is going to be his striking and his power. And I'm not trying to be Captain Obvious, but Belal is clearly the better, well-rounded fighter. And I'm always going to give it to them. But Belal's 37. I know I talk about this. I know the age doesn't matter in certain weight classes and stuff. But he's only getting older. And he pulled out of his fight versus Shavkat. I don't know how well the recovery has been for him. And it's not Belal hate, It's just the fact that how long can his body hold up? How many training camps can he have? He started at 23. He's now 37. I know he doesn't have like too much tread on the tires per se. Damn, man, I really don't know, because they're pretty even in all aspects except their dimensions of fighting. Man, because JDM was showing some solid like grappling defense and all, but I feel like he gets overwhelmed. And I know he's been training with Craig Jones. That's very good, right? If he even gets to like a Volk level type of takedown defense, then if I see that in the middle of the fight, I'd be like, oh shit, JDM could absolutely win this fight. And it's not a it's not like there's necessarily gap between them, but we just haven't been shown much from JDM. Like Bilal Muhammad's wins have all been pretty impressive. Like Sean Brady, Leon, Gilbert. Even though Gilbert was injured, that's still a good win. He did very well. But JDM has shown to struggle against certain fighters. Like if we look, Holland split decision. Holland is trash, guys. Holland is trash. This is a Kevin Holland that doesn't care to win or lose, by the way. You know what I mean? Basil Hafez, people like to say, like, you know, Hafez could have easily been on roids and stuff. Right, and that's whatever. But split decision? Okay, he submitted Randy Brown. That's cool. Right. And that's a good win on that. That's probably his best win other than Gilbert Burns. However, the jump to beat Gilbert Burns is impressive. But can he make that same jump to beat Bilal Muhammad? I don't think so, man. Like, let's look at Bilal Muhammad's wins. Damian Maya, even though he's retired now. Wonder Boy, that's a good win. Like, even if JDM faced Wonder Boy and beat him, then I could be more convinced. Vicente Luque, this was still when Luque was good, by the way. Sean Brady, Gilbert Burns, Leon. I think I gotta go with Bilal Muhammad. I think we as a people have to stop doubting him. I'd say like it's a 70% chance Bilal wins. Just the pace he sets. I think he has the style to beat JDM, to be honest. I think his hands are decent enough to compete, to land some good shots. I don't think he's going to get any knockdowns or knockout. And also, we got to stop. We got to stop this bullshit of saying, I'm not going to shoot no takedowns. You know you're going to shoot takedowns, bro. Don't. I read somewhere that he said that shit, and I actually saw the video or whatever. But we got to stop saying that stupid shit, bro. You know you're going to shoot takedowns, man. And it's specifically coming from these grappling heavy fighters. Bo Nickel, bro. Shut up. You know you're going to grapple, bro. And he didn't grapple. Because he's a pussy. And he didn't even grapple versus Paul Craig. Sorry. I just don't fuck with Bo Nickel. Never did. I think what made me not fuck with Bo Nickel was the fact that they didn't put him on the prelims of UFC 300. Which is fucking stupid. And I'm glad they may be recognizing their mistake now. But Bilal Muhammad, you know you're going to grapple. You know you're going to shoot takedowns. You know that you're not going to only strike. So, I'm going to choose Bilal Muhammad. By decision. Easy money. So, that was my predictions for UFC 315. Let me know if y'all enjoyed the video. I might be a little rusty, right? Because I probably should have skipped some of the fights that I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. But I enjoy making these videos, making this content for you guys. I missed y'all. I missed all 25 of y'all. And hopefully we have a great card to watch on Saturday. I go out to the bar to watch these fights, but I don't think I'm going to do that with this one. I have stuff I have to do. Hopefully I have enough time, or I feel comfortable enough in the other things I have outside to be able to do so, to make the time for it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. And I will see y'all on Sunday or Monday with my reactions.